Are we going to war with Iran?
Yes.
I don't know. Probably. Knowing how absolutely insane this government is at this point and how off the rails we have gotten. Here's what I know with absolute certainty. What we have been shown in terms of what's actually going on in Tehran, yes. And this is coming from a good friend of mine who's from Tehran. No one wants to be under a suppressive, authoritarian, radical Islamist regime like the Ayatollah. And you know what else they don't want? They don't want the West messing with their fucking business.
No. See, that's the thing that countries are universally agreed on. Like, they have their people that support their leaders. They have their oppositions, whether it's Venezuela or Iran. But yet they can all come together to agree that they don't want us involved. That's the common denominator. They don't want our involvement.
Now, very much as you have pointed out, which is why the rallying behind the likes of Saddam back in the day, Gaddafi, al-Assad, and then, of course, obviously in recent times, now we're seeing with Maduro, here is what was really going on in Tehran over the weekend.
چرا اینجا حاضر شدید؟ هدف حضورتون چی بود؟
برای دفاع از کشورم و سیدمون.
پیامی دادید برای سید بزرگوارمون در حد یه جمله.
با هر پوششی، با هر انتقادی پشت تیم آقا.
به نظر شما آشوبای اخیر، کشتارهایی که انجام دادن این عده مختشش باعث شده که همبستگی ملی ما کم بشه، متزلزل بشه؟
نه، چون اونا که مردم نبودن. اگه مردم
Did you hear that, guys? Now I know it's in Arabic, so you don't understand, but if you're reading it, if you're not just listening and you're watching.
متزلزل بشه.
نه، چون اونا
Now, there has been a suspicion from the very beginning in all of this that there are basically spooks on the ground inside Iran that are riling up the masses violently. You see, the protesting against the Ayatollah has been peaceful protesting.
Correct.
And the violence by the Ayatollah's military has only started in earnest after there were attacks, like Molotov cocktails being thrown into mosques. Is anybody going to talk about that one? That one gets ignored. No, they want you to believe that the people are rising up. The people in Tehran, they're rising up.
All right, Peter, she wasn't there. Everybody wants you to understand she's not speaking Arabic.
Oh, it's Farsi. I'm sorry.
It is Farsi because they're not Arabic in Iran. They're Persian. And yeah, and
my apologies, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
She speaks Farsi.
Yes, Ray, I know not everybody is Arabic. I'm not one of those people, but hey, if you want to call me that, have at it. So yeah, but just as she said, these are not our people. So they know. The people on the ground know. They know that these, again, you know what this is like, ladies and gentlemen? This is like January 6th. I am not here to forgive people that got violent on January 6th, but if you think for 1 second that was not a State Department specialty to rile those people up on January 6th, we have to go inside the Capitol. Do you know who was saying that? An FBI spook. That's who was doing it. Well, guess who's doing it on the ground in Tehran? It's the same fucking people.
Yes. Well, they're trying to agitate, to manufacture consent for us to have some sort of pretext to go into war with Iran. But what I've seen, and again, and I see people have mentioned Professor Morandi, and I'd love to talk to Professor Morandi, but the biggest problem with Professor Morandi is that he lives in Tehran. And when you're in Tehran, that puts you about 8.5 hours ahead of us. And so we do lives. So we wouldn't have the ability to talk to him where he would also be in the waking time that we're awake. So there's that. But I did see an interview with him and there was footage and the protests, the marches in Tehran. And by the way, there were marches all over the country. It wasn't just Tehran, but that was the biggest one. You're talking more than 1 million people. And it was very peaceful.
Oh, yeah.
So anything that we see that's agitation, I will always think is U.S. Zio created, and to create that narrative.
We'll finish it up.
که مردم نبودن. اگه مردم بودن مردم الان اینجان.
چه تفاوتی با مردم معترض دارن اونا؟
اعتراض که همه داریم، ما هم جوونیم، ما هم تحت فشار قرار میگیریم. اعتراض فرق میکنه با کشتن و آتیش زدن و آسیب زدن به مردم و کشور.
پیامی دارید برای اون دسته از هموطنانمون که تو تله این اغتشاشگر افتادن و اخفال شدن؟
خیلی از دوستای خودم شاید حتی تو رو خدا با فکرتون تحلیل کنین، مسیر درست رو انتخاب کنین.
Okay, so yeah, Professor Morandi was on with Danny Haifong. That's what I was watching earlier. And you know, we want to agitate. That's what we do. We are the agitators. We're the terrorists of the world.
We are. And so one of the primary aspects, and one thing that young lady pointed out, which is very true, which is just use your head and think, why exactly are they doing this? Well, there's good reason for it. Because they count on the simple-minded to continue to be fooled. But as Lincoln always said, you can fool some of the people all the time. You can fool all the people some of the time. You can't fool all the people all the time. And that's what they're counting on. They're still counting on this idea that you can fool people into another endless war. And one with Iran? No, that's World War. That's World War III.
And Hala is correct. A large amount of the problems in Iran are due to our punishing sanctions, just like in Venezuela. Countries that suffer at our hands, at the hands of U.S. economic bullying, and also literal bullying, but you know, these people are suffering because of us, and then we use that to say, oh, look, their government doesn't work. Their people are unhappy. We need to go in and fix that. And it's just wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over again. I feel like we're in Groundhog Day with this shit. And I do think that we're going to start picking at Iran again and try to justify going in there. Whether or not Israel waits for us for them to act, I don't know. But I do know that when they attack Iran this time, that Iran's not going to pull any punches. Well, they're just not. They're gonna level bases. They're going to level Israel.
And what do they have in common? What does Pahlavi have in common with Machado? The person that seeks to take over Iran if the people have an uprising. Well, guess what they have in common? Guess what Machado and Pahlavi have in common? What do you think they have in common, Jen?
I think they're both Zionists.
You would be right.
عزیز ایران، هموطنان شجاعان، شما در 2 هفته گذشته به ویژه در 4 روز اخیر با تظاهرات میلیونی پایه‌های رژیم نامشروع جمهوری اسلامی
The illegitimate Islamic Republic? No. Your father was the illegitimate Shah of Iran.
Exactly.
And then the Ayatollah took over.
He's just, right, he's just the Conchata Marata, whatever, and Guaido and enchilada. Globalize the enchilada. But this guy is also stupid because it's sort of like Zelensky too, right? When they're done using you when you're done being their useful tool, they'll be done with you. And your own people, being that you are not in the majority, they're done with you too. So what happens to people like this isn't good.
No, definitely not for somebody like him.
He'll end up on
به لرزه درآورده اید. اینک با اتکا به پاسخ میلیونی شما به فراخوان‌های روزهای گذشته و با مشروعیت و مقبولیتی که از شما دریافت کرده‌ام، مرحله دیگری از خیزش ملی برای سرنگونی جمهوری اسلامی و بازپسگیری ایران عزیز را اعلام می‌کنم.
Okay. Why does this guy think that people are uprising on his behalf?
They're not. No, they're not. But yeah, again, we're really watching a repeat. I can't really see it that well though because of the things in the way. What does it say? Spawn Guaido. But yeah, I mean, this, like, we're not going to see what he's talking about. Because what he's talking about is not real. He's talking about like there's some bubbling Iranian uprising. No, it's the wealthy people that are not in charge now want to get back in charge because they liked it that way. Same as Venezuela, Same as in Ukraine. It's the same everywhere. It's all the same.
Now, I bring this up because this guy's obviously a joke. And if there is a person who, to me, confirmed beyond any doubt that this is just one big coup attempt, leave it to the South Florida grifting supposed Iranian, but he's actually a Syrian, king of the grift himself, Patrick Bet-David.
Online that are like, well, Pat supports MEK. Let me just say this flat out. I had a call yesterday with a higher ups about MEK. This is what I learned about MEK, to all the people that are talking about MEK. So MEK is somebody that was previously pro-Khomeini, and then they went and helped Saddam Hussein. It's like Marxism meets, jihadists, Islamists combined together. They're like I don't even know if I would say AOC meets Mamdani of what they're doing. I don't even think she's good for Iran at all. But that's a name, that's somebody that's out there. Let me tell you what I'm looking for some of the people that are wondering if I'm paid by MEK. 1 minute, so funny, I saw two tweets. One tweet said I'm paid by Qatar. The other tweet said I'm paid by MEK. And 6 months ago, they said I got paid by Israel. So who the hell am I getting paid by, right? I'm not, we're not taking money from anybody.
No, you're just
no, you were trying to take money from us, Pat.
Yeah.
You take money from whoever's willing to pay for your shill shit.
Yeah, I mean, you did interview Satanyahu Milikowski on your channel, and the only way you're doing something like that is if there is a financial understanding between the two parties. But, pretend like you're not the grifter that you are, where you've been caught with your hand in the cookie jar for many, many years. Patrick bought David? No, Patrick Bet, Star of David. That's his real name.
But this is the reality to the Iranian people, and specifically to Reza Pahlavi. Very important for you. Very, very important to pay attention to this. I contacted Kalshi this morning. Rob, can you pull up the Kalshi numbers on who Kalshi sees as the next leader for Iran? Okay, so can you zoom in, please? Next leaders for Iran. If you go a little bit lower with the list of names and click more, they have Mojtaba Khamenei.
The idea that he is using his platform right now I think he has like 4 or 5 million subscribers. So here's what he's basing the future of Iran on. He's basing it on gambling. He's basing it on Kalshi or one of these other gambling sites like Polymarket. Hey, would you like to bet who the next leader of Iran is going to be? I'm surprised his name's not on there. Because Lord knows if he could throw his hat into the ring, he probably would.
Is he taking bets on this? Like, is
absolutely. Like, how bad of a grift do you have to display?
I don't mind that he's taking bets from people on who they think is going to win. I mean, people are allowed to do that. I mean, that's just doing a poll that he's getting paid to do. That doesn't bother me. If people want to send him money to play a stupid bet,
listen, all I could say is if you are stupid enough to take betting advice from Patrick Bet-David, a sucker and his money are lucky to get together in the first place, as the old saying goes.
At 25%, which means it's going to be another Khamenei. Oh, God. Then they have Golsan Hossein Mohseni, 23%. Then I have Hassan Khomeini, 19%. Who do you not see on there? You do not see Reza Pahlavi on there. Nope. So I contacted Kalshi and I said, we need to add Reza Pahlavi to this list. And Iranians, for those of you guys that are in America, this is what the world is looking at. Nowadays, decisions are being made by Kalshi. Okay, for you guys to go out there and sit there and say, wait a minute, how come he's not on there? By the way, Nargis is not even on this list. But Reza Pahlavi's not on this list. So the people that are betting are saying, we don't believe it's going to be him. But I do believe he has a shot. Here's the screw up. I would have gladly have said this privately, but he's forcing me to say all this stuff publicly to him.
Oh, public.
And all the Iranians, I cannot believe, Shoma nemidunin chi harf mizani and all this other stuff. Listen, we want to see this happen, okay? We would like to see this happen. I wish he had competition. There literally is no competition in Iran that's going up against RP. I wish there was. This is why he's so soft. He needs competition. He needs somebody to poke him. He needs somebody to disrupt him. his ass up. And I'm willing to play that card because there's no other candidate. Not Nargis, not any of these other guys. That would be.
So did I hear that correctly? Patrick Bet David thinks that he's worthy of running for president of Iran? One more time.
I cannot believe, Shoma Nemidun She Harf Mizani and all this other stuff. Listen, we want to see this happen, okay? We would like to see this happen. I wish he had competition. There literally is no competition in Iran that's going up against RP. I wish there was. This is why he's so soft. He needs competition. He needs somebody to poke him. He needs somebody to disrupt him. He needs somebody to wake his ass up. And I'm willing to play that card because there's no other candidate. Not
Patrick, on behalf of many Americans, please leave this country and go run for president of Iran. Please.
Don't threaten us with a good time, Patrick.
Please. Just go. Go.
Go. Although I kind of feel like I don't want to wish him on the Iranians. You know what I mean? I mean, I know he is technically one of theirs, but, it's like no need to punish them further.
I would like to think that they would be able to see through his grift. Just a thought.
Well, and it's probably, look, I'm going to assume, and I know when you assume you make an ass of you and me, but that Iran is probably very similar to other countries in that this is a class divide. So when you look at people like Patrick Bet David and hear his thoughts, also, again, somebody who left Iran and is now in this country. So it's like the wealthy white Venezuelans that are living in West Venezuela.
But now that they're so damn rich that they want to get their.
Well, they were rich to begin with, which was how they had the resources to leave their respective countries. And so when you hear the people that are the affluent people from countries that are having whatever upheaval or turmoil or economic issues, and you hear the wealthy people in the diaspora giving their 2 cents, you have to take it with a grain of salt because those are not the people that are representative of the majority of people in those countries. They're just not. And it is very much a class issue. Because I promise you that the people in Iran are not all on the same page with Patrick Bet David.